we have a review of the Goodsmile company Nendoroid Donald Duck. This is product number 1668. So taking a look at the packaging, we do have a nice view of the figure there through the viewport on the front with several of the accessories. We have a promo shot here at the bottom, some additional promos shots there on the side, several more on the back, and you will notice that the shots on the side are duplicates of the ones that you do have here on the back. There is some legal there on the bottom. Again, the same promo shots that we saw from the back. One more on the bottom, and same on the top there. And now to review the accessories. So we do have the standard Nendoroid base and stand arm. We also have a smaller stand arm, which is for holding the Dazed Knocked Out halo piece that we'll go over in just a moment. You have an extra neck peg in case you break that neck peg. We do have Donald's hat as well. You do have that tassel hanging off the back, and then there is a small plastic piece here on the inside, and this is actually to hold it onto Donald's head. So you'll wedge this between the front faceplate and the back of the head, and then that will hold it there on top of Donald's head for you. We do have two alternate faces and one alternate bill. This is in addition to the head and the bill on the figure. So you can take the bills off and swap them between all three faces. So we have the open bill here. The figure does come with a closed bill on it, and it has the head with the two open eyes. This is the winking face. The eyes do pop out, and we do have extra eyes down there. This eye is looking up. And then we have the head with the two closed eyes. These pieces are just to ensure the pegs do not shrink on you when they're not in use. So you can take them out when you want to put the bill in. And when it's in storage, you just put those in there to make sure it maintains its shape. We do have three alternate arms and hands, two left arms. And the only difference between these two bent arms is the size of the bicep. So you see the bicep on the top is a little bit longer. The hands do swap out and are interchangeable between the arms. So you have the fist, a thumbs up, and the figure does come with the straight arms with the hands straight out. For the right hand, you just have the bent elbow and the fist. We do have this effect piece of clear acrylic with a hole on there, and you can take Donald's butt off the figure and put it up against this so it looks like he's bursting through a wall. We have the alternate eyes, so we have the pair looking straight forward. You have the pair looking up, in addition to the eye and the winking face. And then finally we have the knocked out confused halo piece. So you do have some clear plastic there, some nice detailing, and then there's a hole in the bottom where this peg does go into that. So you can plug that in and then stand that above Donald's head, so it's just hovering above his head there. So that does look pretty good. And now to review the figure. So bringing him in closer here, let's take a look at the paint. So the paint all does look pretty clean. I'm not seeing any issues with the paint. There's a little smudge there on my arm, which I can probably scrub that off with some mild detergent. But other than that, it does look pretty good. In terms of sculpt, so you do have like the tufts of feathers on the back of the head and the tail. Other than that, the sculpt is pretty basic, which is in line with what you'd expect from an Android. In terms of the articulation, it's going to be your standard Android articulation, so we can rotate the head there, look down a little bit, look up a little bit. Arm does rotate full 360 there, does come off to swap the arms. Hands do just pop off there. Do have a swivel at the waist. This one is pretty loose, this peg actually, because as I move that arm it does just want to slide right off. And then for our leg articulation, so we do have a ball peg there, so we can rotate and should be able to bend. I think it's not lined up with the, see if we can pop that off and fix it. Can we? Yeah, it's not lined up with the joint, so I just need to, if you can see, the bend is there, the foot is rotated from that, so I do need to turn that around. I want to be careful not to break this pulling it out. There we go. But just very slightly. It's been a bit tight to turn, which actually maybe they want you to have the rotation on the side. Yeah, I think they wanted you to have the rotation on the side there rather than the front and back. So that's actually my fault. So let's just plug that back in. No harm, no foul. If I can get it in there without snapping it. There we go. All right, so we do still have at the to the side there. Okay. Now for the head, as I had mentioned while reviewing the accessories, you do have this little piece of plastic in there that will snap between the front and the back faceplate. So if you just put that in there and then snap it in, should, actually didn't hold in. Let's see if we can get that, slide that in. Maybe if I push that a little closer. There we go. So yeah, it does hold that hat in there pretty good. You just have to make sure that you snap that in pretty tight. In terms of swapping the bill, probably gonna have to put the head on last because it's not super sturdy with that little plastic piece. It works well enough, but it's not super sturdy. Should be able to pry the bill off there. Pry the bill off this one. Sorry, getting a lot of my hand in this. And there we go. Open mouth, let's put that hat back on. So probably don't even need to take the faceplate off all the way, just enough to get that into the crack, push it in, and then make sure I push that tight. Yeah, and again, that's a bit tricky to get that in there. I think I would have honestly preferred they just gave you a peg hole in the top of the head. I know it would look unsightly if you had him without his hat, but it would have been just a lot easier to work with. There we go. And let's position those feet. There you go, it looks pretty good. And in terms of swapping out the eyes, you have just the plug hole there in the back of the face, and you should just be able to push that straight out, and you can swap the eyes with whichever eyes you want. For the confused piece, I'm going to use the smaller end of this. Should plug right in there. It's a little tight. There we go. And then when you have him on the stand, position that however you want that to be, and have him sitting. There goes the hat, but we don't need it for this. And there goes the arm. These arms on him are really loose. So we put him like that and swap out for the close-eyed face, and it would work. These legs are a little difficult to get in the seating position though. Let's see. Because he does want to lean back, so it's going to take a little maneuvering to get him in that seating position. Maybe if we go off to the side for those feet. Yeah, it's going to take some work. It's not, I wouldn't say super intuitive to get him into that seating position. But finally, let's see for the last minute. Yeah, there are magnets in here. I'm not sure, is there a magnet in? No, there's not a magnet in the acrylic, which obviously you can't see it, which you would be able to see it. There are magnets here. So I'm not sure if they intend for you to put this against a piece of metal or have a magnet on the back side. I think actually I do have a magnet lying around here. Yes, interestingly enough, I do have a magnet right next to me. So we do have a pretty powerful magnet right there. And yeah, you can see it does work with a magnet. So if you had this against a display with a magnet on the other side, or even metal probably would work because it is a magnet on the butt there. Yep, that does work well enough. Would have been nice if they had included a magnet for you to use, since that's the way this mechanism works, but they didn't, so fine as it is. And now I do have a bunch of Donald pieces lying around, so we'll put him back together. Yeah, I would say there are some issues with this. The hat doesn't really want to stay on. It's hard to get him into the seating position, which I'll play with it when I'm doing the poses in a bit to see if that's a bit easier. And then we don't have a magnet for that effect piece, which would have been really nice to have included.
And for our height, Donald stands at about 4 1/4 inch to the top of his hat and about 3 3/4 inch to the top of his head. And for our size comparisons, here we have Donald next to the Nendoroid Simba from The Lion King on the Pride Rock base, and then Nendoroid Sully from Monsters Inc. And here we have him next to the Funko Pop Toonami Tom from Cartoon Network's Toonami, and the Figuarts Zero Genma Saotome in panda form from Ranma 1/2. And here we have him next to the Figma Zenitsu from Demon Slayer, and the One Shot Toys Spirit Detective, aka Yusuke Urameshi from Yu Yu Hakusho. And here he is next to the SH Figuarts Gojo Satoru from Jujutsu Kaisen, and the SH Figuarts Saiyan Raised on Earth Son Goku from Dragon Ball Z. Overall, the Nendoroid Donald Duck is a fun figure, but it's not without its issues. Now I will say the cute chibi style of the Nendoroid line works really well for these more toony characters like Donald and Mickey and Minnie. This is actually our first release of Donald in the Nendoroid line. And as one of the staple Disney characters, it's great to finally have him when we have so many other Disney characters from other properties already in the line. And I do have to say the likeness of Donald is spot on here. It looks like him, it captures the essence of Donald, which is fantastic. Now as for the issues, the straight arms on mine didn't attach super snugly to the body. They came off pretty easily, and the mechanism for attaching the hat to the head isn't the best executed. That little thin piece of plastic, it's hard to wedge in between the front faceplate and the back of the head, and it doesn't always want to stay in. And I would have preferred they gave you a peg just to peg the hat into the head and just have it super secure. Now also the acrylic piece with the crack in the wall for putting the butt up against it like he has his butt sticking out of the wall. It has magnets in the butt, but they don't give you another magnet for the opposite side to actually have him hanging against the wall. So you have to get your own magnet or your own piece of metal and have it on the other side of the wall to actually make it work. And they have the photos on the package of this effect in use, but they don't give you all the things that you actually need to make it work. So if they're going to present that on the package, they should really give you all those accessories in the box so that you don't have to go hunting for things to make it work. Other than that, this figure, it looks fantastic. Like I said, it's Donald through and through, and I highly recommend it if you're looking for Disney characters in your line. This is a great one to get.